Good afternoon. It is going to be a pleasure to share the following minutes with you. We are going to talk about the disaster risk game challenge. This is a very special occasion because we are going to launch at this point a kind of contest that we want to run in the following months. First, we are going to see a kind of endeavor that is attached. This is linked with the other initiative that is called RISE. I hope that all of you have heard about RISE. For those in which RISE is something new, we are going to summarize that RISE was created in 2014 by the UN ISDR in collaboration with PricewaterhouseCoopers. This is a kind of a special endeavor that look for a very special coalition. It's a kind of partnership in which we have a very key partners like the Economist Intelligence Unit, Florida International University, Principles for Responsible Investment, PRI, Ecom, and Willis Reinsurance. This is just to mention some of the initial partners that are going to be increased with another members, but the idea with this is to have a clear collaboration, a platform that brings together the best of the public and the private sector. Part of what we need with this endeavor is to put together different initiatives in which we have the business, the public sector, education, civil society, insurance sector, investors. But our intention with this initiative is really to go forward and to complement other activities that are in place. So this is going to be an excellent opportunity to enforce, to strengthen what we already have in place. And it's worldwide. And we want to move in strategies for global business, in risk metrics for economic forecasting, in the industry certification for having standards there, in order to develop different kinds of products for higher education, for technical education, technical training, professional development, to have the principles for responsible investing. And this is linked with other initiatives that the UN system has been promoting throughout the years that is related to resilience cities that we already heard about that in the previous presentations, and the insurance and reinsurance, and that benefit also at the same UN system. So within this framework, we are developing this initiative that is called the Disaster Risk Game. And this is something that we want to share with you. There is something, please, can you say the previous one has a movie. This one. Yep. So the idea with this program is to start encouraging the new generation and how to develop a disaster game. This is the goal, is to engage the new generation in those kind of elements that those are critical for us. After many years of working, we identify different aspects that we consider critical. When we talk about hazard, when we talk about vulnerability, when we talk about those underlying factors, when we talk about those different components of risk, when we talk about some concepts that are abstract, like when we talk about sustainable human development, when we talk about public-private alliances, when we talk about business continuity, corporate social responsibility, when we talk about shared risk, shared value. Those are very, very nice topics, but how can we get the new generation engaged on playing with that? They are good at playing. Now they are ahead of our generation, moving and getting involved in some details. So now what we need is to provide them the different tools in order to understand them and put together and play with them. So this is part of what we envision now. So if we see the process to develop the game, those are part of the rules of the game. They need to imagine, they need to conceive the way of creating a city that is going to be building its risk, growing. Then we are going to see how these risk constructions end in a very specific disaster scenario. But what is more important is now is the opportunity for them to say, okay, applying the counterfactual procedure method, the idea is how can we go back and change some things of what we have seen and we have built in order to change the result? What if we change something in the appropriate time? What if we decide that we are not going to build the port in some specific place? Why if we don't use some flooding area to build a settlement there? Why if? So the idea of the game is to go back in this history of the city that they have created and change some factors to see how those factors are going to end the new scenario and how they can work together with the limited resources. And that's the key issue. The resources are limited. So they need to decide how much they are going to change, how much they can move, relocate elements, how much they can involve different industries. And doing that, they are going to be able to redefine the scenarios, and the idea is to get at the end with a result that is a resilient city. Those are the terms of the game. So it is up to the new generation that is going to be participating to decide how much they want to go, how deep they want to go, what is the kind of details they want to embrace, how they want to emphasize, how they can balance, for example, investment in infrastructure versus investment in settlements, investing in settlements or housing or dwellings, or investing in the relocation of some factory that is critical, is a part of the essence of this community that they have created. So this is part of what we see as the game sequence. And obviously, part of what we want is throughout the process, they are going to be using some tools that are going to be available. So the idea is that they can use the global assessment risk that is available in the platform, that they can use part of the GAR 13 that explains them some concepts, that they can contribute and work within the environment that we would like to have this connected with higher education programs. So we encourage that business schools, IT schools, different schools, they can work together and they can present a project. There are specific dates for this kind of contest. So we invite, and we consider this like the launch of this contest, but we are going to announce through different channels in order to have more people involved. They need to register. They need to indicate who is behind them. If they have some kind of sponsorship from the college, from the university, if it's a group of association, whatever, they can work together and they can present these ideas in order to have something that we consider that is unique, that is to have them develop their own game and their own perception. We don't want to be this as an isolated activity. And what we want is to use this game later on to play in a special session in a simultaneous way within different universities to have a context. So as you see, this is a contest that has two stages. One is the development of the game, and the second is to play the game with different universities, and in order to have a kind of contest in which this is going to be bottom up. So students asking the universities, faculty, that they want to have this sponsorship, that they want to be part of this event. So engaging them, and we consider that this is going to be critical, in particular with one of the groups that we want to target here, that are the business schools. Those that are very related to a very specific groups in which we want to target, like a small business, medium enterprises, that in such a way that we can get a kind of massive movement and we can involve in students, and the idea is to engage and to develop different type of products that are closer to them in terms of challenges, in terms of games that can really engage them in something that we consider that is critical to start working later on and build on that through different type of activities that are already in place. Something that I want to say at this point is the contribution that HEC Paris has had in this idea. HEC Paris, one of the largest and is well known in the business schools. They have been working hard developing some of the ideas that we see here, and our intention is to expand this. And from Florida International University, we are doing an important effort to have this with the ISDR, putting this in a global context. So this is the intention. You can have more information about this game, and we really invite you, if you know kids, if you know new generation that are willing to take the challenge, welcome. There are special prizes for this, but more than the prizes, what we want is the recognition, the acknowledgement about this accomplishment that we consider is going to be something that is going to change the way that this new generation start working. And from that, we can expand to other type of products. Is there any kind of question, or Dr. Olson, do you want to add something?
The only thing to really add on this is, let's face it, we have children and grandchildren who are more adept technologically than we are. And so if you want to engage a sequential set of generations, you start with something that they want to do and that they will enjoy. And this is one solution to get them to think about disaster risk reduction and disaster risk management in terms that they will internalize. Otherwise, it's just we older people talking about issues. They're the solution. So we're going to try to fix it up so that they can take the conceptual initiative. And with that, we've affected the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Alonso. Is there any question regarding the follow-up? Here you have more information and what are the rules of this contest. But we really invite and we challenge you to identify the new generation coming to this kind of contest. Yep.
Yeah, I've just come from the Children and Youth working session just around the corner, and the call that they made to have the opportunity to provide their input, to provide their technological expertise, to provide their love of social media, their knowledge of their local communities, their creativity, is exactly matching the supply that you're offering. So this is fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that this is going to be, so far we have already 3 business schools committed with this topic. One that is Florida International University, in which we are working, HEC, Paris, that is working in this, and York University in Canada. So the idea is to move forward and to engage new institutions and to engage new business schools and to expand to other disciplines. It's not restricted to business schools. Okay, thanks so much.